Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Meme Rates. No, welcome to Sunday's slapping. Welcome to Whoop Review Sunday. We're gonna review just a whole bunch of different TinyWhoops. Many of them stored quite nicely in these very cool little cases that TinyWhoop sells that I really dig. Okay. Didn't need to get this one out. I guess all the 75s are sitting here on the bench. I didn't expect that. There was like a moment of panic of like, oh god, someone stole all of the 75mm rigs. I guess if somebody's gonna steal a bunch of rigs, I'd rather them steal all the 75s. Not really though. I've fallen in love with a bunch of these 75mm rigs. Yeah, somebody asked me the other day to do a Whoop fleet review. I did one a few months ago, 2, 3, 4 months ago, but a bunch of stuff has changed, and it's a really good thing to kind of do. It's like when I started thinking about it, I realized that like that is one of the more valuable things that I can do for you guys, because it gives me the chance to kind of talk about the strong suit of 40,000 kV motors, 32,000 kV motors, 28,000 kV motors, lightweight rigs, heavyweight rigs, right? Like it really, I try not to have builds that are like show queens, basically, like just, you know, they sit on the so show queens or dyno queens in the car world. Show queens are cars that you don't drive. You trailer them to a show. They're super clean, super well restored, whatever. But yeah, you don't actually use them per se. I mean, you are using them. It's a show car, and you're bringing it to shows, so you are using it. But you're not like using it like a car should be used, right? Which is as a car, which is something to drive around. And then like dyno queens are like mega horsepower builds that you trailer to the dyno, and then they lay down 1,500 horsepower, and then you put it back on the trailer and take it back home, and then wait until the next dyno day. And so I don't have any builds that are like that. I have builds that are top to bottom meant to be flown for a specific use. And yeah, you guys can potentially learn a bunch from that, because I've spent a lot of time dialing in each one of these builds. And so, yeah, a fleet review every 3 or 4 months is probably a really good thing. And again, it gives us a chance to talk about some of the progress that's been made, right? The one that I did 3 or 4 months ago, we weren't as dialed in on 75 millimeter builds, so we can kind of talk a little bit more about that. So yeah, it'll be fun. Crom was first in the chat. Striker was next. Schnauzer FPV after that. Apparently, Teddy has learned to use the computer because on Teddy's 1-year adoption anniversary the other day, a few days ago, all right, story time. When we first got Teddy, he was super timid. He was super scared, and he wouldn't like jump up on the couch. He wouldn't play with us. He was yeah, just scared of the world. I don't know what his previous owners did to him, but they were not very nice. It didn't seem like. And yeah, for when we couldn't get him to play when we first got him home or relax or anything. So we're looking around for different stuff to kind of play with him. We gave him a bunch of toys, nothing. I grabbed a sweaty old, I don't know why it would be sweaty, but tennis ball from the garage, and like just dropped it on the floor towards him, and he freaked out. It was like his favorite toy. He was running around with it. And so tennis ball, or just ball as we call it around here, was like his #1 toy, but like he fell so in love with it that like it was too much. Like Teddy doesn't have an off switch, or he doesn't have a dimmer switch. He doesn't have an off switch. He's either awake and a complete chaos gremlin of doom, or he's asleep and is the best. But when he's awake and has tennis ball, it's like cocaine bear dog. He's just nuts, and like he'll stuff it under like shelving units and shit that he can't get at it, and then he'll freak out and he'll just and like he'll just scream. Like it's a specific scream that we can hear, that we know he's lost his ball under something. And it doesn't stop, and he just sits there freaking out until somebody comes and gets it. And he'll do this for hours, and he'll do it upstairs, and like I'll have to walk up and down the stairs 200-300 times, and so it's just insane. So eventually we had to take ball away, yeah, I mistakenly gave it to him the other day on his adoption anniversary, and he just lost his mind again and freaked out, and now we've had to take it back away from him, and he walks around and like looks up at stuff and sniffs and he's just been completely insane for the past few days. And he's so crazy actually that he's learned to use the computer, and he's created a YouTube account called Schnauzer FPV, and now he's in the chat harassing me to, you know, hopefully get his ball back. It's gone, Teddy. It's gone. The ball is gone. You couldn't control yourself, and now I've had to take it away. It's just in the garage. Wait, no, it's not. It's outside on top of the tall table. Schnauzer FPV is not actually Teddy. It's a real person, but it's absolutely hysterical that there's someone in the chat called Schnauzer FPV a day after I took his ball away, and he's just desperately been walking around the house. I originally put it on top of the 3x3 Calyx cube that's over there, and the motherfucker could smell it. And like within 10 minutes, he's at the base of the cube just. So then I moved it outside, and I put it in the wheelbarrow outside. Again, within like being let outside twice, he's at the wheelbarrow. And then, so now I've had to put it up on top of the table. At some point, I'm just going to... I can't possibly get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. It's impossible. But yeah, he's just insane. Cloudhopper, Frank Nicholas, Zoe101, Dog with a Blog, Troy Prelog, Freelojo, Notice, Cloudhopper with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, check your email. Finally hit sub 17, 65mm with a 2G. How the hell did you do it with 2G4? When did you send the email? My email is an utter war zone. If you guys email me, don't expect a response for a week. It sucks in there. Yeah, my email is bad. It's not a great way of getting in touch with me. Unfortunately, Instagram is the best. I get the least spam on Instagram. Holy shit. I'm gonna try to not show your email address, but that's some pretty serious lightning. So this is the old school Mobile 6 canopy, really lightweightized. I forgot to show this on Friday's stream, but I've got a Mobile 6 canopy. I saw somebody do this. I'll show you in a minute. I saw somebody do this a long time ago, and then I kind of forgot to do it. And then Cloudhopper sent me a picture of his Mobile 6 canopy that he shaved that I showed previously a little bit of material off of, but now he's gone completely off the deep end and really lightened it up. So he's got the super light antenna. Oh yeah, and he's doing the very cool V setup with the antenna. I'm far too lazy for this, but this is very, very, very cool. Damn, light AF canopy. 702 28,000s. I'm shocked that this is under 17 grams. I wouldn't think that with the heavy ass 2G4 you'd be able to do it. There must be a lot of weight removed from this canopy. Very cool. This is a super light antenna too. This is like a 0.2 gram antenna. That's obviously going to help quite a bit. Good work, dude. Very cool. A 2G4 build under 17 grams is the fucking dream, because the 2G4 is actually like reliable and durable and doesn't have weird random jello in the middle of the throttle. Dude, good work. Very fucking cool. Very, very cool. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. You got to spell it right. Don't put any spaces in there. If you want to support the insanity that is attempting to do FPV as a full-time job, which somehow I've been able to pull off for the last 3.5 years, because of beautiful people willing to support me, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can support the channel. Some of them are free and you just have to click. Some of them you have to send me a couple of your dollars. If you send me a couple of your dollars, you will get way more than you pay for, I guarantee. I will tell you all kinds of stuff to not buy because it sucks or doesn't perform all that well. And when that happens, you've saved 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks. So yeah, support me and I'll keep doing that long term, forever. We'll keep testing stuff and I'll keep telling you what to buy and what not to buy. Patreon helps me out the most. You can get on there for as little as 10 cents a day. It's $3 a month. If you want to get in on giveaways, monthly giveaways that I do, there are higher price tiers, 5, 10, 20 a month in there for that. There's an Etsy store where you can buy very cool shirts like this. I'm sorry, Teespring store where you can buy very cool shirts like this one. An Etsy store that's about to have a ton of new stuff added to it. A bunch of stickers, a bunch of random hardware. There's already some good stuff up there. And a whole bunch of affiliate links. If you're ordering things on the internet, someone has an affiliate link to that website. It is free money, and it'll help that person tell you what to buy and what not to buy. So do it. Change your bookmarks over to people's affiliate links. If you don't use bookmarks and you just like type into the URL bar, you can type like AMA in there. It'll show you your current Amazon.com suggestions. Off on the right side, you can remove those suggestions. So do that with these websites that people have affiliate links to. Remove your existing URL bar suggestions and click your favorite content creator's affiliate link a couple times, and then your browser will think that when you type AMA, you want to go to Ciotti's affiliate link for Amazon, or UMMA for Oh My God's website. It'll automatically give you an affiliate link. And this way you don't have to think about it, and you start using affiliate links every single time you do an order and supporting people that help you without even thinking about it. Do it. It'll take like 10 minutes of your time. Do it now. Do it now! Massive shout out again to Mac W5RTM, old guy and a drone. He's getting out of FPV for the time being and sent me a whole shitload of really, really, really cool stuff. Some of which I'm going to be doing testing on. So you're going to see me down here with the tweezers and with the screwdriver, kind of screwing around, because I'm moving some of these parts around, taking some stuff off, so that I can do some thrust testing with it. So yeah, don't be weirded out by me like looking down a whole bunch. I'm just trying to do 3 things at once. Trying to answer questions, live stream, and take shit apart at once, because welcome to being your own boss, my friends. You get to always do more than one thing, but you don't have a boss, so it's worth it. Is it? It is. Sometimes it is. Yeah, it's the most time-consuming thing you'll ever do. But if it's with something that you love, it's fun. You just have to, you got to be careful, because it's really easy to start to like need, right? That's the trick that your brain plays on you. Need to do stuff like this when like you're sitting on the couch watching TV with the family, and you're supposed to be actually present watching TV with the family, as opposed to, you know, half watching TV with the family, half trying to dig the goddamn plug out of the AIO for the 7,000th time. But you can make it work. We can do hard things, friends. We can do hard things. Wow, these plugs are on here. What I'm digging at right now, these are iFlight bind and flies, it looks like. And they've got 0803 19,000 kV motors on 1S. Oh, the things that are wrong with that. 803 is way too big of a motor for a 1.2 inch prop. 19,000 kV is way too low of a kV for a 1.2 inch prop. But 0803 19,000 kV on 2S is going to be fucking fire on the 2S walks down. I guess I should probably not scream the word fire in a house full of people. As I was screaming it, I was like, wait, no! Don't do that! Don't do that! The only thing that could have possibly made that funnier is if, like, as soon as I did that, I heard, like, stomp, 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 stomp of everybody, like, running out of the house. But I live with people that know what an absolute lunatic that I am, so nobody even responded at all. You know what's gonna suck, though? I'm going to put these 803 19,000s on eventually, when BetaFPV eventually ships my fucking order that I placed like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. When they finally ship that order and eventually it gets here with the replacement 2S AIO, I'm going to put that Walksnail 2S build back together, and these motors are going to probably be incredible. And then I'm going to crash it a couple times, and the motor shafts are going to bend like a motherfucker because it's a heavy rig with a 1mm motor shaft. And then I'm going to be like twice as sad as ever before because, yeah, it's going to... I'm going to realize... Look, I've tried these motors before, actually. I tried these... So these are Zing 0803 19,000s. And I tried them ages ago on the tiny lifter builds, and I fucking loved them. But then I like bumped the build into the railing on at the time I was living in the apartment in Alpharetta, and the motor shafts bend. I didn't even crash the rig. I like bumped the rig into the railing and recovered, and it bent one of the motor shafts, and then I crashed it from like 3 feet, and it really bent one of the motor shafts. And then I took those motors off and never put them back on because they were impossibly fragile. But what I will say is that the tiny lifters are some fat ass motherfuckers. So maybe on these walk snail builds, they'll be at least a little bit more durable. And also, back then, we didn't have a lot of the motors that we do now. So it'll be interesting to compare them to like the T-Motor 1002 19,000s or 18,000s, whatever the hell they are. And the 802 25,000s that I currently have on it, and there's some other motors that I'm going to be testing on it as well. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm taking these motors off of here. I'm actually going to keep a set of these motors. There's a set of Flywoo 1002 23,500s on one of these. That are the purple and gold. If you're looking for the Flywoo 1002 23, no, these are the Wasp. I have a set of the Wasp Major motors for sale as well. 22.6 by 6.5. It's basically a 2306. Not really, but sort of. Awesome motors, big power. I have a set of the black Flywoo Robo 1002 23,500s for sale. They perform like 1002 22,000s. There's nothing wrong with them, but you don't get the extra power that you would think from the higher KV. To reiterate what we talked about on last live stream, my testing that I did last week on the spreadsheet live streams and Chris Rosser's testing that he just did of a ton of TinyWhoop motors has shown us that the KVs are just absolutely all over the place. Ooh, I forgot to show you this. Yeah, so when you look at TinyWhoop motors and they have a KV stamped on them, pretend they don't. And just throw a dart at a dartboard, and whatever the number is, there's probably a better chance it'll be that KV than anything else. Happy Model's KV numbers are way wrong. The number stamped on the bell is like between 2,000 and 6,000 KV higher than the motors actually are. The other manufacturers aren't as bad, although T-Motor is pretty bad too. T-Motor and Happy Model are the worst offenders. T-Motor has a motor that's like almost 10,000 kV off, which is that's grounds for a beatdown. But you know, here's what you can do to really lightweight your Mobula 6 canopy that I saw forever ago and forgot to show you guys. Well, I forgot to do it, which is why I forgot to show you guys. But you can just basically cut the ass off of it. You guys saw what Cloudhopper did a minute ago, which is to just absolutely eviscerate the damn thing. If you want to be a little bit safer than that, I think this is the safest way to lightweight a Mobula 6 ball sack canopy and still have it be nice and strong. I'm going to be trying this out. I'm going to put this on to one of the 65mm rigs and give it a shot. So yeah, more info to come. This saves... Shit, I forget. I'll tell you right now. So the entire canopy is... Well, there's also a little support piece that I don't have in here. But yeah, just the canopy itself is 0.74. And then cutting its ass off, which is this piece here, brings it down to 0.57. So there you go. It's not nothing. And as long as it's durable like this, to some extent, like, why not do this? My main reason for why not do this is that you lose these holes. And I use those holes for my antennas. I stick my antennas out of those holes. And it's really, really nice. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I don't know what antenna I'm going to put with that guy. But I'll do it one of these days, and you'll get to see it. And then you can call me, I I don't know where I'm going with that. You can call me Donkey. There we go. Right. I'm gonna now throw this away. I only kept it to show you. And now I've shown you. All right. In the chat, Schnauzer FPV says, if Teddy's flying is as bad as mine, you might want to duck. LOL. Crom says, meme rates plus horizon mode for less crashing. Does horizon mode use rates, or does it use? If it does, then yeah, that would be the jam. Hey, who did the meme rates? I told you guys on the last stream. I said go do the meme rates now, and nobody listened. But surely after the live stream, someone did meme rates. Here's what meme rates are. You go to Betaflight, you go to rate profile 3 because you're not going to want this to be your main rate profile. But save this as rate profile 3 because it's hysterical and you never use rate profile 3. So turn on rate profile 3, go to actual rates if it's not already. And for your center sensitivity, do 100. For your maximum rotation, do 2000. That's the max. And then for your expo, do 1.0. That's the max. And then go outside and do it with goggles on first, I guess. And you'll laugh. But then where you'll really laugh is when you take your goggles off, you line of sight that motherfucker right in front of you. You blip the throttle, and then you hammer roll. You will not believe what you see and hear. It is amazing. So go do it. Go do meme rates. As a matter of fact, put meme rates on rate profile 3 for every single rig you own. And then the next time that somebody says, how fast does it go? How high does it go? Say, shut up! Stand there and watch this. And then bring it back in and go to your meme rates and blip the throttle in front of yourself and do the thing. And they'll go, wow! And then you go, yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Now get the fuck out of here, you little bastard! Don't do that. Don't be mean to children. Unless they deserve it. Don't be mean to children, you monster! Jesus. What's wrong with you? I don't need this. Right? Sometimes it's hard to throw things away. Throw things away, you lunatic. There it is. I threw something away. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper says... Hello, Gangly Gang. How you all doing? Please say again. Thanks again to David Ciotti. Really appreciate what he did. Can't hang. Have a great stream. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper and Quadbot are the guys that have been doing all these timestamps on all the live streams. So we owe them both our greatest thank yous, and it's just amazing that they continue to do that. My dad has been hanging out on the giveaway live streams, and he sends a PayPal donation in for me to put the timestampers on the into the giveaway. And this last giveaway, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper won that giveaway, so he's got a bunch of really cool stuff coming to him. Well deserved, and so that's why he's thanking my dad for that. For anybody that's not, there's your inside baseball for this live stream. All right, let me get caught up on chat here. I am quite a bit behind. Soggy says, do you recommend 4-blade props or 2-blade props for 30,000 kV motors? Neither! I recommend 3-blade props. All of the 4-blade TinyWhoop props are way too heavy. Most of the 3-blade TinyWhoop props are way too heavy. There are 2 really good 3-bladed TinyWhoop props, though, that pair really well with 30,000 kV motors. To be honest with you, though, there are only 3 TinyWhoop props that you should be even remotely interested in, because there are 3 TinyWhoop props that destroy all of the rest. For the small ones, for the 1.2-inch props. Those are the GemFan 1210 biblades, the GemFan 1219S tri-blade, and the HQ Ultralight tri-blade. These are the 3 newest props. And like I said, they just destroy all the other propellers. So next time you do an order from somewhere, get 2 or 3 or 4 sets of all 3 of those propellers. and you're good to go. They are different, significantly different between the three of them. Test all three, pick which ones you like the best. Away you go. You'll have the best propeller for you. There is no best propeller. There is best propeller for each one of us. It's kind of, sort of, but there's not really best of anything. There's just different. So there you go, my friend. VPro says, I tried to flash a 2G4 of a friend's with 96K because he won't need better braking anytime soon, and it started overheating. Have you seen this before? Bluejay 0.16 48 is fine. I have not seen that. I've only run 96 once or twice because I don't like it. But yeah, I've not seen that or heard of that. That's interesting. If going back to 48 makes it stop doing that, I would just run it on 48. There's not a big improvement in efficiency or power going from 48 to 96. There is a big difference, 24 to 48. So 48 makes the most sense because you get best of both worlds. You get almost as much braking, motor braking as you do on 24, but then you get almost as much efficiency and power as you do on 96. Frank Nicholas says, you'd scream too if you lost your balls. Walter Van Den Oord says, I light a candle for him too. Colin Stapleton says, just ordered parts for a new 75mm Playground Ripper, Mobile 7 frame, Super X V2, 0802, 33,000 kV motors. That's a lot. I would motor limit those down a little bit for the record. Pinch cam and canopy. Now the 2 to 3 week wait for TinyWhoop to ship across the pond. It's nice that they actually are willing to ship overseas. A lot of companies don't even do that anymore. You will dig that. Definitely motor limit those 802s down a little bit initially. 33,000 kV. It's really starting to look like 27,000 kV is about as high as you want to go on an 802 for 1.6 inch props. But getting the 33,000 kV motors is actually a really good idea because then you can motor limit down, of which there's little to no negative effects. And then someday, if you want to use those motors on a 65, you can run them at 100%. Or if you just are super power hungry, the 33,000 kV will work on the 1.6 inch prop. It's really, yeah, it's putting a lot of stress on the AIO, but it will work, and it will probably be fine pretty much forever. But yeah. Hey, speaking of AIOs, somebody commented on the most recent live stream, or maybe the one before that, and he said, yo, you should check out the HGLRC Specter AIO. I've got 7 of them running. And I was like, okay, either one of two things is going on here. Either this person doesn't fly very much, because if you've got 7 different rigs, how are you going to fly each one of them a lot? So either they only fly each one of those rigs 1 battery per month, and that's why the HGLRC product hasn't caught on fire yet, or it's actually a decent AIO. But then what he said next is what intrigued me, which is that he has it running on 2S on some of these rigs. And it does say here that it's 1 to 2S, and it also says here that it's using 10 amp FETs. So I am fucking in, yo. And we are going to... This 533-2207 fund has kind of stalled and died, so we are going to change this to the HGLRC might not catch fire fund. And yeah, let's see what we do here. So we're giving HGLRC another chance, man. We're giving them another shot. Never say that I don't give people second chances, because here's the second chance for HGLRC to not catch on fire. So yeah, HGLRC Specter AIO, $75. I'm intrigued, man. It's got a VTX on board. It's got ELRS on board. F411, 10 amp FETs, 1 to 2S. Yeah, what could be wrong? What could possibly go wrong? It's got motor plugs. It's got the ceramic antenna off on the side. This is the rear Here's the battery pads here on the side. So this is the rear of the board. And so this ceramic antenna is probably going to hit the Mobula 6 canopy that I really like. So I'll probably end up just removing the ceramic antenna and replace it with a piece of wire. That's fine. The UFL for the video antenna is kind of here in the middle, which is fine. This is a totally fine location for it. I wish it was centered so that you could use a McStinky canopy with it, but, you know, how much can you... If the AIO doesn't catch on fire, that's a good start. The not having the UFL port perfectly centered, but it not catching on fire, I'll take that any day of the week. Most TinyWhoop AIOs, if you're somewhat new here, are just woeful pieces of human slime. And so, yeah, it's very hard. It's been very hard for us to find any Whoop AIOs that are even remotely worth a shit. And this one I have admittedly not tried because many years ago, I swore off HGLRC products because they kept catching on fire. And it wasn't just one, and it wasn't just two, and it wasn't just three. Eventually, I gave HGLRC stuff another shot, and it let me down again. And I said, okay, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, don't get shamed again. There's a quote from a movie that I was just trying to do, and I think I butchered pretty good. It's a... does anybody know what movie that is? And or what the quote is? He ends up saying, I won't get fooled again. And then somebody's like, you mean the song? I think that's how it goes. But he screws up that saying. He screws up the fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I don't know. Screw you. I'm not stupid. I just have a worthless memory. Welcome to clinical depression. It destroys your memory. My memory is pretty good with certain things, though. Can't complain. This is another one of these. Speaking of memory loss, this is another one of these Happy Model Mobula 7 V3 frames, which is awesome in gray. So this is very cool. I'm stealing this frame for the 2S walk snail builds. Thank you, old guy in a drone. He's got a bunch of these. Again, speaking of AIOs, he's got a bunch of these iFlight AIOs in here, which I'm gonna try out as well. We're gonna have tried a bunch of TinyWhoop AIOs recently, not just the 2G4 and the X12 and the BetaFPV. Well, we've tried a bunch. Yeah, we've tried most of them. Not these iFlights though. Not that HGLRC. So yeah, this iFlight AIO, I'm willing to bet is not the way that we want to go. Mainly because it's got pins. It's got the VTX pinned to the top of the AIO, and pinned components are something that has always been a bad idea in FPV, and those pins have pretty much always broken when you've started to crash the whatever that has that setup on it. So I'm willing to bet that this iFlight AIO is not going to be a winner. But we'll at least give it a shot and see. You know, it's worth a try. Ooh, this is a weird version of this frame. Hold on. Let me show you something. Wait, no, it's not. This is interesting. Hold on. I gotta get this out of here to show you this. This is set up very different than I'm used to. What is it using it? Oh, no. Okay, never mind. It's just sitting that... Wow, that's really strange. I don't know how to show you that, but basically this was set up... Oh. Oh, no, I see. Never mind. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, never mind. Oh, wait, no, it's true. Oh, this is weird. Hold on. This is a strange... Is this not the Happy Model frame? It sure looks like it. It's got something super weird about it, though. Oh, what? Oh, no, yeah, no, what? Oh, did he trim these down? What it looks like is that he trimmed them down. Okay, never mind. It's totally normal. He trimmed down 3 of the 4 posts to make it work better with this AIO. But yeah, the regular version of this frame has extra tall posts, which are actually really nice for doing it as a walk snail build, because you have to run double grommets, and the double grommets really work well on these posts. But yeah, this one has 3 of the posts trimmed down, which won't work as well. I'm still going to order another one. Damn it. Yeah, I still need to order another one of these V3 frames. This one will work, though. This one will work in a pinch. It's just the top walk snail set of grommets will kind of float. But that's the way it is on all the 65mm builds, and I actually have not had a problem yet with that. So we'll be all right. It'll be fine. Very cool. Yeah, this is a nice little backup frame that I can use to bolt yet another set of motors to, because once I get the 2S walk snail rig back up in the air, we're going to start testing a bunch of different motors on 2S. And I am very excited about that, because there are certain motors that I've been really interested in the manufacture or in the sizing of the motor, but it's too low of a KV for 1S. And yeah, that just completely disqualifies it, unfortunately. And so it's really good that, that we've got some other options. Matter of fact, I'm just going to bolt motors directly up to this frame. I'm going to bolt a set of these 0803. Ooh! Perfect! The one problem with this Mobula 7 V3 frame for the 2S walk snail build is that basically this frame was designed for a 3mm tall motor. If you put a 2mm tall motor, like an 802 or a 1002 on this, the propellers run really low in the duct, and the propellers actually hit these duct standoffs. Just barely, and just during turtle mode, but it's still kind of a pain in the ass. There are motorizers that BetaFPV sends with all of their Air 65 frames now that you can use, but you're bolting extra weight on, like where the motors are, which is the worst possible place to bolt extra weight. So that sucks. But one of the motors I really want to test on that 2S rig are these 0803s. So I'm going to take them off and bolt them directly on here, and then this frame will be ready to go for 0802 testing. I wish I hadn't just removed all the goddamn screws from this frame. That was a stupid thing to do. Colin Stapleton. Oh, no, we got that. Yeah, you're going to dig that build, Colin. That's going to absolutely rail. Cloud Hopper says, is there a second email? There is a second email that got to 16.9 grams. The clear canopy is even lighter. That's weird. Did you dig more plastic out of it, or is just the clear plastic lighter? That's weird. BID says, think you broke some headphones and eardrums with that scream. Did I? I tried to scream straight up so that it wouldn't be that loud. Sorry, guys. Sorry, headphone wearers. Parkour Guy says, open the stream up to you yelling fire, and my car speakers were up all the way. Sorry, dude. BAD says, as someone who travels around training fire marshals, I know shouting fire often does nothing other than people look at you and go, oh, what a strange person. Oh, no. I can totally see that, though. I can totally see society not responding to someone screaming fire. That is American. That is the legacy that we will leave the world here in America. People crying wolf. Parkour Guy says, I did the meme rates, and it's just incredible line of sight. And yes, Horizon mode uses rates confirmed. Awesome, very cool. So yeah, put the meme rates on, and then use Horizon mode. because as you saw in the intro of this video, trying to find level after you've spun at 2,000 degrees per second is like pretty impossible. So yeah, you're gonna want to use you should already have horizon mode on a switch as your oh my god I lost video, as your response to oh my god I lost video. It's a really nice hack for not losing a quad. You push too far, like for example, you fly behind like a shed that's like a half a mile out and you lose complete video. You can flip the switch, horizon mode turns on, it levels it out, and you blip the throttle, and that'll blip it up hopefully above whatever thing has blocked your video signal. And so yeah, it's just really, really nice to have like an oh shit switch that you can flip rather than just immediately disarming. In fairness, it is the safest to just disarm it in that scenario and take the walk, but not always. Like if you're in that scenario and you're flying above people, it is not the safest to automatically disarm it. It is the safest to flip the switch and have horizon mode level itself out and maybe jump up and get signal back rather than dropping a drone on someone's head. So yeah, I would much rather, and it's not like the idea is not to flip it into horizon mode and go full throttle and leave it for 5 seconds. It's to blip the throttle to try to get video back real quick before you then eventually disarm it, if you don't get video back. But yeah, and that's what makes it safe, you know? Absolute worst case scenario, you lose video and it flips upside down. You're blipping the throttle into the crowd rather than hammering the throttle into the crowd, right? But yeah, I mean, you should not be in a scenario like you should always be in a scenario where if you're flying over people, for the record, you should always be upright. It's really not a great idea to go inverted over people. Just in general, right? Just from like a let's plan for the worst kind of thing, which you should be doing at all times when flying these things, because you can hurt someone. So yeah, get your make sure your brain is firmly planted in risk management mode when you're flying these things above people, and just yeah. And look, like if you're flying above people, the footage is going to be fucking awesome, and so you don't need to make it more awesome by being inverted. Stay right side up, and just enjoy a situation that not many people have gotten to do, right? It's not very common that we can put a camera at 20, 30, 40, 80, 100 miles an hour above a crowd of people. So let that do the heavy lifting. Don't go bananas flying like your pants are on fire trying to make it even more crazy, because you'll just hurt somebody. Or, to be honest, it can kind of take away from it. Like being right side up in a steady cruise over a large group of people, like, good to go. That is awesome. That if you then start flipping and flopping around, to some extent you can't even tell that you're above people. Why would you do that? Don't do that. These motors are held in by little tiny M1.3 socket-headed screws, which I have exactly 1.9 sets of. I have one full set, and then I have a second not full set. There are one too few, which is infuriating beyond the bounds of rational thought. Now I think I know where those screws came from. I guess they came with these iFlight murders. And maybe, just maybe, there's one extra in this little bag that I just hesitated to throw away, but then went, nah, throw it away, you idiot. No, there's not. There's not an extra one in there. I wonder where these come from. I'm intrigued by them, but they are super annoying, because who the hell carries around an M1.3 driver with them? So they're actually really not a good idea. But they're cool looking. It's cool looking to have little socket-headed screws holding your TinyWhoop motors on rather than stupid little Phillips head screws. But yeah, my 1.9 sets of these just sit in a box. I do not use them. What is that on the side of the motor? Oh, it's a little chip in the powder coating. That's interesting. See, Parkour Guy is enjoying meme rates. Why aren't you? ORFFPV says, will you have a live stream about PID tuning? Absolutely not. I just saw your last was 2 years ago. Yeah, there's really not much of a reason to PID tune anymore. The stock PID tune is really, really good. And I talk about PID tuning every other live stream at this point because it is so easy to do now. The absolute easy button for PID tuning is to just take the master multiplier slider and move it up. If you want a more aggressive PID tune, you move it up until the point where the motors get hot or the motors start making funny noises or the rig tries to fly away on its own, and then you back it off a little bit. And that's it. That's really, legitimately, all you need to know about tuning. If you want to be a total nerd, like a bunch of us, sure, you can learn a little bit more about tuning, but it's a waste of time. I hate to admit it, but it is a waste of time. The way that we should all be tuning is to just take the master multiplier and move it up and down, because doing that gets you a tune that is 95% of the way there. Why the hell we continue to pour our time to get the extra into getting the extra 5% is completely and utterly beyond me. It really doesn't make sense. You will have more fun and get much better as a pilot just using the master multiplier and focusing on flying. And for most people, that's where the fun is. There are those of us that are, I guess, masochistic maybe, that have to push it even farther. And if that's you, I've got step 2 for you, which will take you from 95% perfect to like 98% perfect. Forget the master multiplier and grab the D-gain slider, the very first slider, and start moving that up. Move that from 1.0 to 1.2. Fly it, make sure the motors aren't too hot, make sure it's not making funny noises trying to fly away on its own. Then move it up to 1.4 and take the second slider and move that up to 1.1. Second slider is the P and I gain slider. Fly it, make sure it's not fucked up. Come back, if you need more PID gain, move them both up by 0.2. You've now got a little ratio going on. Those top 2 sliders were here. You moved the top one to 1.2, and then you did this with them, 1.4, 1.1, and now you just maintain that ratio. And you just keep moving that ratio up higher and higher and higher until it starts making funny noises or the motors get too hot, and then you back it off. And that's it. That is a 98% perfect PID tune. If you have electronic components that are garbage, or a build that is garbage, or you're building something like wacky, like a 10-inch or a 12-inch, or like something that Betaflight was kind of not designed to be used with, which is pretty rare because Betaflight was really designed to be used with everything quad related. But sometimes you do have builds that are, yeah, jacked up or totally weird. Then you might need to use PID tuning. But yeah, if you've got a rig that's on shitty equipment, fix the shitty equipment. The amount of time and effort that you will spend trying to get a rig to fly right with shitty equipment pales in comparison to getting half decent equipment. And the tune that you will end up with at the end of the day, after spending all that time and all that effort, will still suck. Yes, the rig will be flyable, but the tune will suck. Shitty electronics, shitty build quality, shittily designed frames, stuff like that. You can put lipstick on those pigs all you want. It's still a pig at the end of the day. Getting decent quality frames, motors, and electronics are the way. for sure. So that's what we talk most about, because that's how to get a rig that actually flies good. Diving deep into tuning is not the way to get a rig that flies as good as diving deep into electronics, the mechanical system, basically, right? We're talking about hardware versus software, and most people have the hardware wrong. Good hardware with dead stock software flies amazing. And so, yeah, that is the main emphasis here. There is really no reason to dive super deep into PID tuning. And to be honest, I've lost track of a lot of the newer developments in PID tuning, although it's a PID controller is a PID controller. But still, I haven't paid much attention because it's just not it's not the way. It's not the way to get a good flying rig in 2024 anymore. Does it still have value? Absolutely. But look, UAV Tech, Brandon's Baked Beans, Chris Rosser, these guys put enough information out into the world for us to know plenty, more than we need to, about PID tuning. So yeah, that's kind of the deal there. But if you have any PID tuning specific questions, by all means, I stream for 10 hours a week, every week. Come on in, ask them, tag me, ask the questions, and we'll talk about them. That is the beauty of long form content, is that we can have those actual conversations to get to the bottom of stuff, rather than cramming 1/10 of the necessary information into a 2-minute long video or a 1-minute long short, and then sending it out for 1 million people to look at and get half the story and hurt someone or hurt themselves or blow a bunch of shit up. Because that is the beauty of short form content, is that you get just enough information to think that you know something, but you don't actually know anything. And that is how this hobby will die. Short form content will kill us all. Walter says, "You're the best. Stay gold." I will. Thank you, brother. Kevin James says, "Hello." Brent Anderson says, "Haven't done meme rates yet, but did up my indoor rates and can now power roll." Nice. If you guys haven't fucked with your rates in a while, do it. It's good. It's every once in a while you want to go in there and move them around and see if you still like where they're at. Striker says, "Just got some 802 25,000s for 1.6. Was thinking on those 33s, but I realized I'm probably upgrading to 1002s when someone makes a high KV or VCI." Very cool. Freeloader says, "My cat is catatonic on my lap." I miss that, man. I miss cats falling asleep on top of you and just being like a bag of liquid. Striker says, "Is that Specter HGLRC AIO? If it works, I'm going to need a few for 75s. Those are incredible. 10 amp FETs seem appetizing." Hey, I forgot to mention, here's the only problem with this AIO. That's... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There it is. That's the only problem with this AIO. That's a bit much. But if it works and it doesn't catch on fire, it's got 10 amp FETs. I don't think the X12 is available anymore, right? Happy model X12. Somebody was telling me that the X12 is no longer being made. Well, that person is dead-ass wrong. Okay, so the X12 is still out there. I don't know, man. My first X12 did not last very long, only a couple batteries. Eventually I got another one, which has lasted a bunch of batteries, but it is dying. The Motor 3 FETs are dying. So I don't know about the X12s. They've never... And here's the big problem. The X12 is an oversized AIO, and it only fits in the Mobula 7 V4 frame. So yeah, even if it was a durable flight controller, having only one frame option sucks a big bag of donkey dicks. So yeah, if this Specter is good, it is definitely not oversized, right? We can see the sides actually come in a little bit, so it might even be like undersized enough to run on the stupid Meteor 65 and 75 Pro frames. Oh, no, just the 65 Pro frame. They need to be undersized. I think. Well, I actually don't remember, but whatever. Yeah, it's definitely not. I'm not gonna say definitely. It doesn't appear to be oversized in the same way that the X12 is. That's what I'll say. That's what I have to say in order to not say the wrong thing without knowing it. Got me? But yeah, $75 is a bit much. But hey, 10 amp FETs, yo. 1 to 2S. Let's get one and test it, maybe. Kilo Zebra says, you won't get fooled again. Quote, wasn't a movie, it was... Oh, you're right. Oh, God, you're right. Oh, my God, you're right. It wasn't a movie. It was real fucking life. It was real life. And it was someone that we fucking elected to run the goddamn country. Oh, man, we are some dumb motherfuckers in this country, are we not? Oh, we are so dumb in this country that we elected that person, and then we elected someone not only dumber, but that is orange and a Nazi. We really, we deserve everything bad that has come our way because we keep doing this. We keep doing this. It needs to stop, my friends. It needs to stop. Oh, boy. We can't keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this. We literally will not survive. Okay? Oh, my God. You're right. It was fucking George Bush. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Our lives are a bad comedy. Oh, wow. Two people caught that. Oh, boy. That is brutal. Walter says, I cry when you lie to me. But not because you lied to me, but because I cannot thrust you for live. What the hell does that mean? Striker says, Walter pause, who's thrusting who? Quadbod's in the house. He says, Teddy being chaotic, surely all you have to do is plug him into USB and back off the spids a bit. Oh, how I wish that dog had a PID controller. Cloud Hopper says, I did shave just a bit more off the clear ball sack, and I swapped the battery wires to the lighter blue and white BetaFPV wires. Gotcha. Urban Beekeeper, that's a great YouTube name right there. I can't put my elbow down because I got shit all over the desk. Says, I saw your awesome R34 stream, got me thinking that it'd be sweet if there was a game and sim that had both cars and drones at the same time. Urban, I'm about to blow your nipples clean off. Search YouTube for Assetto Corsa FPV mod, and you will find that there's a FPV mod for Assetto Corsa that will allow you to join other people's rooms and chase the motherfuckers around. This is one of the very few things. This is one of the very few moments where I actually regret not having a PC. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened in the past once or twice. But yeah, there's this. Also in Velocidrone, you can buy a little thing that there's some like fake drift cars that go around the track. It's not great. They don't really accelerate and decelerate in the right locations that a real drift car would, but it's fun. It's very fun actually. So yeah, Velocidrone or that Assetto Corsa mod will work. I think you'll have to buy Assetto Corsa though, and if you're not a motorsport person, that might be a little that might not make much sense. But yeah, that ACC setup. I am going to try to. So the place that I chase the RC drift cars at is called Torque Motorsports, and it's actually a sim place. Like the RC drifting is just because they have extra space. But yeah, the place stays in business by having a bunch of sim rigs with Assetto Corsa on them, and people come in and pay to use the sim rigs. And they are moving. They're doing so well that they're getting a bigger spot. And when they move, I'm going to talk to the owners about getting that ACC mod set up with like a big screen so that I can go there and jump on the big screen and chase the guys that are currently in there drifting. So that their friends can like watch along, and like it'll be very fun for me, and it'll just be like a really cool thing. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to talk to them about at some point, because yeah, they've got a bunch of big ass TVs on the walls, just, you know, looping shit. Unfortunately, all those TVs are broken at the moment, because usually what I do is hook up my goggles to HDMI going into those big TVs, and I display my analog and or walk snail feed on those big ass screens, which is really cool. But yeah, those three sets of screen, one by one, those sets of TVs have stopped working, and right now all three of them are not working, and I guess they're not fixing them because they're moving. Troy Prelog says, curious why horizon mode and not angle mode on the safety switch. Angle mode does not use your rates, and angle mode does not let you invert. So I had it set up with angle mode for a while. When I would accidentally have angle mode on, I would take off, I would blip the throttle, I would go to do a roll. Angle mode would set me to would go to the maximum angle level that it has set, say that's 45 degrees, and my brain would go, and I would sometimes end up crashing because I was just so confused that I expected it to do a full roll, and it like hung up here all weird like. When I switched it over to horizon mode, my brain stopped taking a shit in those moments, and it would do a full roll. But also horizon mode uses your rates. So yeah, two reasons there. Hush LOS says, have you or anyone tried using square wires for winding motors? I haven't even heard of square wires. I've seen it used on hi-fi speaker coils, less air gap. I've never and will never hand wind a motor. Interesting. Here's my guess. My guess is that they don't make square wires thin enough and or single strand. I think the windings have to be single strand wire. If they make square wires single strand, I bet you they don't make them thin enough. The winding material for these little tiny motors has to be ultra thin. Earthwalker says, I think I remember you saying you don't like bumping feed forward up, correct? Have you found negatives to it or just haven't found it necessary? The negatives are that it makes your flight footage look very jittery because your fingers are kind of jittery. And so high feed forward feels great. When you fly it, it feels awesome because the quad tracks your sticks like beautifully. But then when you go and you look at your footage, every single twitch that you've made on your fingers is there. So like if your finger's a little bit shaky, you can actually have shakiness in everything. But mainly just like we tend to be pretty aggressive and pretty like poppy with our fingers, and so with a lot of feed forward, the rig is like all over the place, and like every little, like if you come down and you make like a little left to right correction with high feed forward, you see every tiny little correction, and they end up looking like mistakes. Running really low feed forward, it'll smooth that stuff out so it doesn't read to someone watching the footage as a mistake. And yeah, it just looks better. Your footage looks better with low feed forward, but you are introducing a little bit of delay. So yeah, it's what do you want? Good looking footage, or do you want the quad to feel really good? If nobody watches your footage, fly a quad that feels good. there's people watching your footage, or just if you want your footage to look better, try low or no feed forward. Or if FPV says, because my Mobula 624 out of the box came with a really high value on the first term in the OSD simplified tuning, that sounds like the beginning of a question, but there's no end to the question. Oh, I bet you Orf typed the rest of the question and then hit enter, and it was over the character limit. Orf, tag me again and retype the end of that, because YouTube has a character limit, and I think you got bit by it. Bad says, my X12 has been a pig since the day I got it. It currently lives in my sketchy flying. I might lose this rig. Whoop. Yeah, I have heard from a bunch of people. When my first X12 died, I said, hey, everybody that's going to buy an X12, because this was early days of the Mobula 7 1S HGLRC, which is where the X12 came on. I said, hey, everybody else that's getting this rig, let me know how your X12 does. And a bunch of people had problems. So, yeah, the X12 does not seem to be anywhere near as reliable or durable as the 2G4, which is a super shame. But, again, it's oversized. You can only put it in one frame. That kind of sucks. So, hopefully this HGLRC Specter is good, because then we don't have to get X12s anymore. And that's pretty awesome, because, yeah, it's annoying to be like forced to buy. What is nice about the X12 is that it has those higher amperage FETs, and it is okay. I have gotten a half decent lifespan out of this one over here, but yeah, not that great of a lifespan, if I'm honest. I'm probably, if I had to guess, I'm probably only about 100 batteries into it. Which is not nearly enough. I have 2G4s with thousands of batteries on them that are still running strong. They do eventually die, but so does everything. Mick Mucus says, Bush mixed up the saying with the song from The Who. Yeah, it was hysterical. It was really... it wasn't hysterical, it was sad, but... Walter says, don't ignore the audio freak. Who's the audio freak? Kinetic says, I got a Seto Corsa for like $3 on sale, and the FPV mod is super fun. He's even chasing bots. Awesome. Earthwalker says, that makes sense, that it's for footage quality regarding feed forward. Yep. Or for FPV, here we go. So the beginning of what he was saying was, because my Mobula 2024 came out of the box with a really high value on the first term, which is P gain. I'm sorry, which is D gain. D gain in the simplified tuning. One penny out of the box. Hang time upside seems pretty bad, but I'm not sure if that's just TinyWhoop's indoor. Yep, that's what it is. Should I tune or let it be? No. When you guys buy bind and flies, as long as they bind and fly out of the box, leave them fuckers alone. Fly them until they explode, and then change things. When you buy a bind and fly, the manufacturer has had a pilot tune it. And so... And... Look, that pilot is probably better than you. So trust them. Leave it. Also, if you fly 10 batteries on it and it stops working, contact the manufacturer and say, or the place that you bought it from, contact the place that you bought it from first and say, yo, I didn't change a goddamn thing. I put 10 batteries through this and it's on fire. You need to send me another one. And they'll usually send you another one. If you say to them, hey, I dicked with the tune and changed a bunch of shit and then it blew up, it's going to be a much different conversation, and they're going to be much more hesitant to send you another one because potentially you fucked it up. So, yeah, if you're going to buy a bind and fly, leave it alone. If you fly it a bunch, if you fly 50 batteries through it, at that point, I don't feel right about contacting the if it blows up, contacting the reseller and being like, hey, this blew up, send me another one. It's like, well, no, if you flew 50 batteries and like pounded on it pretty good, it's kind of like, well, I mean, you can have your own opinion on that. And your opinion can be that I'm high and that you should be able to fly 1,000 batteries on it and still return it. That's you know, that's your choice. But for me, I don't know, 50 batteries is pretty good. At that point, like it's a working rig, right? And if at that point it fails, it's probably your fault. If you babied it for those 50 batteries and you're babying it on the 51st battery and it blows up, yeah, okay, fair enough. Make him send you another one. But like, I don't know. I feel like after 50 batteries, and look, you should be beating the shit out of these things. It's one of the great joys of this hobby is that you can smash the living shit out of this stuff. You're totally safe. Some of it'll survive. If it doesn't survive, it's cheap and easy to fix, and you can fix it here at your workbench, not in your garage in the sweltering heat, punching metal, bleeding, dying, wishing that you'd never been born. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, it's you should be flying hard and crashing. It is one of the great joys of this hobby, and it will provide you great grief in your underneath. No, it won't. That's something different. Yeah. Fly harder, friends. Crash more. So there's that, which is weird. Yeah, leave it be. Leave it be. The tune that the Mob 6 2024 comes with is really good. The tune that most quads come with nowadays are really good. And you will probably make it worse by screwing around with it. Parkour Guy says, it's honestly incredible. A chip so small and cheap can even take 20 batteries worth of abuse. Yes. Yes. That is very, very, very true. And so, yeah, if we get 50 batteries out of some gear, I'm like, all right, not too bad. Not too bad. All right, we're going to get the fleet review started in a minute now that it's 4:18. We will get the fleet review started right at 4:20 so that you stoner donkeys can get all messed up on a Sunday and enjoy the rest of your night. And the first level of enjoyment will be looking at some stranger on the internet's quads and him telling you all about them. But for right now, I've been forgetting to assemble things. I'm going to put these 0803 iFlight 19,000 kV motors into this Mobula 7 V3 frame. Off-Axis says I'm already messed up, lol. Off-Axis got off to an early start this Sunday. That's okay. You guys do you. Just don't drive, man. Don't get into any cars. Have your fun at home. Sober the fuck up. Be cool if there was a version of weed that didn't stay with you as long, right? Like, that's one of the things that I will say makes lawmaking around alcohol and just alcohol in general a little bit better, is that you can get all silly and then sober up a lot quicker than getting all mangled on the marijuana. But maybe there is. I don't know. It's been a while. Maybe there is. Bad flew as AOS 3.5 in thick fog today. I was lucky I managed to fly back without crashing. Don't say those things on the internet. Don't say that. Don't make me say that. That's not me. That's someone else. And they're just kidding. FAA, I swear. They're just kidding. It was totally safe for them to fly back. They sent me an email just now. They said, the email says, yo, I'm going to say something controversial in your chat real quick so that you can get more views. I just read the email while I was looking down at this motor. I trust you guys, but look, don't kill anyone. Don't hurt anyone. If you're flying a 5-inch rig, don't hurt anybody. For God's sakes, don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Yo, you don't want to be that guy. I love how we have the saying, don't be that guy. You know what we don't have? You know what saying we don't have is don't be that girl. Because you know what? Women are not dumb like us. It's not chauvinism that we don't have the female version of that saying. It's intelligence level. Face it. We are the dumb. We are the smooth-brained ones. let's just cop to that, and let's have a sense of appreciation for how much we've been given as men in this world, that we, much of which we really don't deserve. Off-axis says men are just more curious. Yeah, I mean, while that's true, we are also much dumber. Much, much dumber. All right, I got these motors on here. Actually, check this out. I'm going to prove to you that a 3mm tall motor is what these frames want by putting a prop on here real quick. So, yeah, this is the Mobula 7 V3 frame, and when you do a 2mm tall motor, the tips of the propeller are absurdly close to hitting the supports on this frame. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 supports. But I had guessed, it's a pretty good guess, it's an educated guess, that with a 3mm tall motor, the props will clear just fine. And I'm going to prove that to both you and myself right now. But first, what I'm going to do is take my 0.99mm drill bit, of which I have many extras that you can purchase if you'd like, and I'm going to just drill out one of these 1mm propellers, just a little tiny bit. I'm going to drill it out to 0.99mm, and then it's going to fit properly on this motor without ruining it. And you should too. I swear to God, if you don't have a 0.99mm drill bit in your house to do this with, you are just making your life misery. Putting propellers on that are too tight ruins motors, it ruins your fingers, and it will ruin your life. So don't do it. Don't do it. I've now drilled this one out, and now it will fit just tight enough, but not too tight on this motor shaft. You know what I do remember about these iFlight 0803s, though, is they have really long motor shafts. Like, they're too long. And they stab your finger. Oh, see? All right. And so I'm trying to put this prop on. It's almost all the way down. It's getting really difficult to put on. When that happens, stop. Don't just smash it on there the rest of the way. It'll become impossible to remove. Take your prop puller, pull it off, and now try one more time. Sometimes they just need, especially when you've drilled them out, they get some plastic on the inside. So sometimes it just needed to be put on the motor shaft once. Try it one more time. Nah, it's not going. So we're going to drill it out a little bit more. Don't start spinning it. This is also something I've learned. Don't spin propellers when you're taking them on or putting them off. Most motor shafts, not the WeBleed ones, but most motor shafts are not knurled. And so spinning the propeller as you take it on or put it off is going to weaken the connection point between the motor shaft and the bell. And you can easily start slipping motor shafts on that motor because of that. So stop twisting your motors off and on. Use a goddamn 0.99mm drill bit to get the inner diameter of the propeller correct, and then push the propeller straight down, and and also buy the clone popper is my favorite from TinyWhoop.com. The clone popper has the best little hook here. It's got the thinnest little hook here, which makes a huge difference. Between that and a 0.99mm drill bit, your TinyWhoop life will drastically improve. And there it is. And now it went all the way down with just the right amount of force. It's not going to come off. And, oh yeah, tons of room. Yep. These Mobula 7 V3 frames are really looking for a 3mm tall motor. See the gap there between that standoff down there and the tip of this propeller? With a 2mm tall propeller, the tip of the propeller is right down on this. And if you turtle mode, When you turtle mode, the propeller spins this direction. When you turtle mode, the tip of the propeller catches on that, and it bends the tip of the propeller down, which is not great. Tip of the propeller is where the majority of the inefficiencies are going to occur. So yeah, these Mobula 7 V3 frames love 3 mil tall motors. Or you can run the little motor spacers that you get with Meteor 65 airframes. Cool. Off axis is off to see the wizard. Striker's asking me to recommend frames for 650 gram all up weight 5-inch with 2207 011 mini. Old school glide frame will totally work. I would do the new school glide frame, or maybe like AOS. Those are some of the most popular frames. Yeah. Old school glide frame will work up to 650 grams. Earthwalker says, I mostly enjoy hemp these days. Interesting. Slightly intoxicating after maybe 30 minutes, and then just CBD effects after that. I didn't realize that. It's pretty cool. Parkour Guy says, I stay drunk way longer. Stop drinking so much. Drink less and it'll wear off quicker. Wonder if there's... I'm sure there's data on that. How long each stays in your system. Zoe101 says, how much for the .99 drill bit and where can I get it? Just message me. $5. Which just basically covers the shipping. If you want to be a super ultra Chad, as internet and or young people say, go over to my Etsy store, which is linked on CiottiFPV.com. So like I am willing to send you a .99 millimeter drill bit for $5 to get them out into the hands of the people, but the shipping is like $4.20 something cents. And I had to pay for these .99 millimeter drill bits, so I basically break even. If you want to be an ultra Chad, go over to my Etsy store and find like a sticker or two, or like something else that's on there, and do a little Etsy order, or message me what you want from Etsy and get like 2 things for $10, or like, you know what I mean? And that way I'll do a little bit better than breaking even. You don't have to do the order through Etsy. You can certainly just message me, yo, can I get 2 CiottiFPV magnets and a .99 millimeter drill bit? And I'll say, yep, it's $15. There's a link on my PayPal. You can just go to CiottiFPV.com. There's a PayPal button if you scroll down, and you can just send me $15 with a note that says, here's my address, 99 millimeter drill bit, 2 CiottiFPV magnets or whatever, or the holographic sticker, and I'll send it out to you. Whatever. It's all good. It all works. Yeah, man, you gotta drill these out twice. Damn. You could probably get away with a 1 millimeter drill bit, but the .99, I would, so that you don't have to drill stuff out twice. This is the second time I'm having to drill this propeller out, but I would way rather have to do this a second time than over drill it. So yeah, these .99 mil drill bits are kind of perfect for that, because if anything, they're going to take off too little material. But that kind of depends on you. You know, you want to just put the prop onto the drill bit real quick and just remove as little material as possible and then test fit it. You'll get into the flow, right? Like, you got to do 4 props at a time. So the first and second propellers, you'll kind of figure out how much material to sort of remove. Man, this one's being a real bastard, though. Nope, I'm not gonna put any more force on that. It's just gonna get stuck on there. Man, it already is. Jesus. Yikes. You got to be careful with the only thing I will say about the clone popper. I have seen a couple people break one of these little teeth off of it. As far as I'm concerned, that's on you. You should not be putting propellers on that get that jammed on there. You should also not be cranking on this thing that's 3D printed that hard that you can break these little guys. Maybe you weren't, but yeah. Get a 0.99 mil drill bit. Get your props fitting properly. Stop jamming them onto the motors so hard, and yeah, you'll be better. It'll be better, I should say. So this is now the third time I'm having to drill this one. And I'm just kind of pushing the propeller a little bit sideways into the drill bit just to take a little bit of extra material off. And now I can't imagine that that won't be right. Yeah, perfect. And now that one's already down. Cool. I'm going to leave it there. This is just my extra frame with these 0803s. I just wanted to go through that whole cycle with you guys because it really does make a big difference. And when you get the like this set of props now is good to go for like ever, you know, like it's, I know it seems like a total pain in the ass, but like you drill out a set of props and then they're good. You'll use them for a while. So it's not like you have to drill them out every single time you change props. What's up, Tool Vanced? He says, hi, my friend. First message from a noob in Sweden. Good to have you. Valor says, what do you think is the best 75mm frame? Valor, there is almost never a best. There's only ever different. Different products will have different strengths and weaknesses. There is never one that is just the best. You might find one that is best for you. I unfortunately don't know you, so I don't know what attributes are the most important for you. So this whole using the word best all the time thing is really, really bad. We want to get away from that. If you go to, come onto YouTube and someone is saying like, this is the fucking best, what they're actually saying is, I think this is the best for me. You're a different person than them, so there's a very good chance that it won't be the best for you, right? So keep that in mind. That's a thing that plagues FPV. It feels like every single review that comes out, the product is the best. It's weird. Like, I don't understand how every product could possibly be the best. It's me being tongue-in-cheek, right? But yeah, get that out of your head. 75mm frames are kind of all over the place, and there are certain ones that work with certain batteries, but like the two that kind of raise to the top for 1S, because I haven't really tested all of them for 2S, are the Mobula 7 V4 and the Meteor 75 Air. The Meteor 75 Air, though, will not work with some AIOs. Like, it won't work with the Happy Model 2G4 AIO, for example. So the Mobula 7 V4 is awesome because it works with every AIO and it's pretty damn good. The Meteor 75 Air is a little bit lighter, which I love, but you've got to have like an undersized AIO for it to work. You can't have like a square looking, which is what the 2G4 is, AIO. So yeah, those are two of my personal favorites and many people's favorite frames. There are a whole bunch of other ones out there that might work better for whatever AIO you're on, whatever all-up weight you're targeting, whatever battery you want to use, right? Like, there are just different attributes to different ones. So, yeah. Almost caught up on chat here. Bad says you need to get a prop popper. I currently use a keycap remover. Works really well. They do work really well. I've used one of those before. They just get bent up. Eventually. Strager says, I think favorite is a much better word than best. Many say the best just mean their favorite. True. Two Stick Studios says, what antenna upgrade do you recommend for the EV800D for best indoor signal? The best antennas that I've found are True RC. Their most expensive antennas are their singularities, and they're also their best. They're what a lot of long-range guys run. So yeah, True RC singularity antennas are awesome. Zoe101 Dog with the Blog says, do you pay the same shipping price through Etsy versus on your own? I do. I don't let Etsy handle shipping. I do it myself. I'd rather you be getting the full dollar amount than Etsy skimming off the top. Yep, that's why I say that if you want to do it just a direct like PayPal or whatever, that's a little bit better. Etsy doesn't take much, but they take a little bit. The biggest problem with Etsy is they do not message me when I get new orders. So if you guys ever do an Etsy order and it's like a month later and you're sitting there like, what the fuck? I literally have not seen that order yet. The only way that I can see my orders is if I log specifically into Etsy on my desktop and go hunting for the orders. It's maddening. So yeah, that's another reason why maybe don't use Etsy. Use Etsy to see what I have and to see what the pricing is, and then go to my website and hit the PayPal button and just send me something with a note, address, what you want, and away we'll go. That'll get your stuff shipped way faster. Striker says, has the durability on the Meteor 75 Air checked out? Will a cross AIO fit? Cross AIO will fit. Durability has not been really checked because it's so brand new. Caleb Beck says, did you ever figure out why your VTX was overheating from about a week ago or two ago, having issues with 75 whoop? Yep, had nothing to do with the VTX. It was the ESC that was overheating, and it was because it was a 2G4. We talked about it on Friday's stream. It's because the 2G4 AIO only has 5 amp FETs, and we were running super powerful motors on it, and the motors were so powerful that they were overheating the FETs. I now have those motors on the X12 AIO, and it's completely fine. And that AIO that was overheating, I now have on a less powerful motor, and it's completely fine. So yeah, the VCI 0802.8, it's an 0803. 0803 27,000 kV motor is super powerful. We're about to fly it in a little bit here. And it's too much. It's too much for the 5 amp FETs. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that we've found the limit of the 5 amp FETs. Yeah, it's 0803 27,000 kV. All right, I'm gonna make a huge mess in front of myself, but that's fine because I got most of the disassembly that I wanted to do out of the way. Whoop! Fleet review. We're gonna start off with 65s, and we're gonna move up to 75. These awesome little cases are available over on TinyWhoop.com. The printing is beautiful. The layer lines are hysterically thin, and it's really, really, really well designed. They have these for 65s and 75s. They have a 2-whoop version and a 4-whoop version. I actually have the 2-whoop version. On this one, there's not really the best spot to put batteries. Absolutely, you can just dump a bunch. You put your quads on the outside. You can absolutely just dump a bunch of batteries in the middle, but then they're kind of all over the place. There's a 2-whoop version of this that has like the top and the bottom, but they're skewed a little bit. And there's 2 excellent little compartments for you to drop batteries in. And so I have one of those on the way. I had to do a TinyWhoop order the other night. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the 2-whoop version. I'm going to switch over. Walter says, is it Fart Friday? Fart Friday, it is. Zoe sent a message on Discord. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. Whoop! Fleet review. Here we go, friends. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get all the 65s out here. All right, we're good. It all started... Not all of it, but like as of 2 years ago, this is the longest running 65 that I've got. This is what really I did most of the experimentation on to develop the ultimate freestyle TinyWhoop. This is an old school Mobula 6 ELRS with a motor swap, BT 2.0 swap, and at this point, an antenna swap. Also, the ceramic antenna on this one broke off, and I replaced it with a little piece of wire, which at this point, I kind of do preemptively because I know that the ceramic tower is going to eventually break off for how hard and often I crash. For some people, the ceramic antennas never break off. Sorry, frame swap as well. The Happy Model frames are just super fragile, so they'll break right away. The old Mobula 6 Happy Model frames would break right away. This currently has a Cockroach 65 V3 frame on it, but next time I have to take this apart, I will be swapping this over to a Cockroach Light AF frame, Newbie Drone Cockroach Light AF frame, to save a little bit of weight on this thing. This is really the best all-arounder. Great for inside, works for outside. This will let you do any of the tricks you've ever seen me do that are like ridiculous and gnarly. I'm able to do on this rig. It's got just the right amount of power, super durable. This is it, man. This is it. 2G4 AIO, the old school Mobula 6 canopy, Runcam Nano 3. I love these ORT Micro V antennas. I run them right through one of the holes in the top of the canopy. I use one of the higher up holes so that it can't bend down and get into the propellers. It still sort of can, but it usually doesn't. I've been using higher and higher holes. This is just a PCB material, so it's pretty goddamn durable. So yeah, you smash it a lot, but they've been totally fine. Yeah, very simple, easy to rebuild if you lose it. Not expensive. There's like $150 all in this build, and that's assuming that you bought the bind and fly and for $100 and then spent 40 something dollars on the motors and another $6 on the antenna. If you just buy the 2G4, you could build this for basically $100. If you can find the 2G4 AIO in stock, it's 50 something dollars, and then the motors are 40 something, and then a couple bucks for the frame, couple bucks for the canopy. Camera will be another 20. Yeah, I guess you'll be like $120 because of the camera, but yeah, inexpensive build, unbelievable flight characteristics, looks pretty good in this configuration too. The light blue. This is on TinyWhoop 0702 32,000 kV motors, the Moon Travelers. These are actually like 29,000 kV motors. When you do the when you actually spin them up to calculate the the kV. We have learned in the last couple of weeks that Happy Model motors are very overrated. The kV numbers on the motors are way too high, which is a part of the reason why their motors have always seemed to be very efficient. But their motors are also very efficient. Like that is a fact. But yeah, when you buy a 32,000 kV Happy Model motor, just know that you're getting like 3,000 to 4,000 less kV. So if you want 30,000 kV, buy 32 or 36. If you want 32,000 kV, buy the 36. If you want 36,000 kV, buy the 40,000 kV. That's just sort of how it works. But yeah, man, Ultimate Freestyle TinyWhoop, this is phenomenal. I have built and sold a bunch of these. I have turned probably hundreds of people onto this combination of parts, and the messages that I get back are, holy shit, this is unbelievable. Not like, wow, you're the worst. Why would you tell me to build such a heap of shit? I don't think I've had a single person that has stuck to the formula and built this to the formula and not been like blown away by it. It's just fantastic. So yeah, man, Ultimate Freestyle TinyWhoop. This is where a lot of that work has gone. This is basically the same thing, but with the black V3 frame. This one is going to stay on the Cockroach 65 V3 frame because this has the 36,000 kV more powerful motors. More powerful motors, I want a more durable frame. This is also, like, between these two rigs, this has a bunch more power. Once that gets onto the lightweight frame, it'll be lighter. So these two will be a really cool point and counterpoint. Less power, less weight, more power, more weight. It needs the more durability for the more weight, right? But yeah, I like to have rigs that are, yeah, that I can fly them back to back and talk about, hey, this one has more weight for more throw and more power for that. Look how our run times are affected. Look how the flight characteristics are a little bit different, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, same exact formula. Oh, also Gem Fan. So lower KV motors, 3-blade props. Higher KV motors, bi-blade props. This is currently on Gem Fan 1210 bi-blades. This is on the HQ ultralight YOLO, as I call them, tri-blades. The lower KV, the 3 blades, higher KV, 2 blades. I would not want to run these 36,000 kV or 40,000 kV motors on tri-blades. That seems like that'd be asking an awful lot of the little 5 amp FETs. It would probably be fine, but yeah, I try to keep it sort of realistic. Moving into 2024, we've had a couple of, well, so the 2G4 AIOs are not really all that available anymore, although a couple of companies, GetFPV and PyroDrone, have gotten a bunch of them in stock lately, which is kind of weird. But Happy Model did tell me a while ago that the 2G4 is no longer being made. I don't know if they've changed their minds on that or what, or if they've just found a bunch of old stock and that's what they've sent to GetFPV and or PyroDrone, but whatever. At the moment, you might be able to buy a 2G4. If you can find one, snag them. I still think it's the best AIO that's ever been produced for a TinyWhoop. So just snag one to have it. But moving into 2024, Happy Model put out a new bind and fly called the Mobula 6 2024, a name that is not going to age well. Maybe it is. I don't know. And that's this guy here. It is now fully upgraded, but out of the box, the Mobula 6 2024 is damn good. The fully upgraded version is ridiculous. This is like the version 1, which was direct soldered. I don't think they even sell this anymore. Now that it's the version 2, which has motor plugs, which I actually like better. The whole motor plug thing just makes motor swaps a lot easier, and you're gonna blow up motors on TinyWhoops. It's just a part of the game. And if a motor repair is removing 3 screws and unplugging it, you're gonna fly that TinyWhoop a lot harder. Versus a motor repair being cutting connectors off of the fresh motor, taking apart the entire build so that you don't melt the frame in the process. So now we're talking about removing 12 motor screws and 4 stack screws. And then desoldering the existing motor, cutting the connectors off the fresh motor, stripping, tinning, resoldering the fresh motor, and then reassembling the entire build, right? That amount of work, you're not going to fly that rig as hard. So yeah, I don't love that these motors are direct soldered, but it is a little bit lighter. You save 0.6 of a gram by cutting off the motor connectors and removing the connectors from the AIO. That's a lot. That is a solid amount of weight. So if you're direct soldering your motors, my hat is off to you. Your rig is going to fly better. But I do not envy you when it's time to replace those motors. And so just think about that. This is a fully upgraded Mobula 6 2024, and it flies unbelievable. Gemfan 1219S propellers, which get a little bit more power out of these 28,000 kV Happy Model 0702s. So at a rated 28,000 kV, they're actually only like 25 or 26,000 kV, which is why these 1219S propellers are so good. These are the most pitchy, lightest weight propellers that there are. The HQ ultralight tri-blades are much less pitchy. They are a little bit lighter, but they are much less pitchy. These propellers really wake these lower kV motors up. This is a Newbie Drone Light AF frame, and I've converted this to the old school Mobula 6 canopy with Nano 3 camera to save a little bit of weight, and then the Micro V antenna. This thing weighs 16.6 grams like this. It's all off-the-shelf parts, and it just blasts. This is so much fun to fly. If you buy a Mobula 6 2024, I think that you should do these same upgrades. It really brings the thing alive. I also have a BetaFPV Meteor Air 65 that unfortunately crashed into the Dog's Bowl, and the VTX on it blew up. But that rig, as a bind and fly, I think is actually a little bit better. It's a little bit lighter, and if you're not going to upgrade it, it's a little bit better than the Mobula 6 2024. The Mobula 6 2024 takes upgrades better and is better when you upgrade it. So if the plan is to upgrade it down the road, get the Mobula 6 2024. If the plan is just to take it out of the box and fly the hell out of it, get the Beta Air 65. Now we get into my RC drift car chasing rigs, which use this Batwing mount that Timmons created for me that is available on my 3D printing Patreon text channel. Shouldn't there be another analog one of these? Did I take 2 of these apart? Did I lose a rig? No, there it is. Oh, yeah, right. I forgot to talk about this. I'm going to switch the frame on one of these. So, yeah, these are the analog RC car chasing rigs. The camera is all the way up front for no props, no ducts in view. Also, this makes the camera sit lower to the ground when I fly on the carpet. And so the camera being that low to the ground versus the camera being up here, it actually does make a big difference. And these are much easier to fly super low to the ground. And so, yeah, 2G4 True RC Singularity antenna because I only fly these things low to the ground. Where this antenna sitting right next to the AIO becomes not great is when that happens. If the camera lens is the goggle antenna and you fly this thing in a way that you hide the antenna behind the big old sheet of copper in this PCB, the signal goes to hell. You know when that happens? When you fly above your head. So getting these ultra short True RC Singularity antennas is only really going to give you better performance if you fly it below head level. And when you're below head level, it's flying around like this. And that antenna is almost always, other than that, but it's just barely, you can kind of almost see it, right? So yeah, if you're going to fly down, like chasing the RC drift cars down below your head, these antennas will work great. If not, don't run them because it's drastic. I flew this rig when it had this antenna set up on it, 1,400 feet straight up to the top of a radio tower. At the top of that radio tower, I had 0 video. When I turned it over, it was full static. And it went from full static to crystal clear video when I inverted this thing. Because at the top, it was this situation where the antenna was completely behind the ground plane in the AIO, and then I turned it over. And now I just had air between the antenna and my goggles. And the signal was, I shit you not, it was perfectly clean. So yeah, these antennas, you gotta be careful of that. If you're gonna be flying above your head a lot, if you hang out in the basement and then you fly up in your living room, this antenna sitting really low is no good. You could fix it if I just took this antenna and rotated it to the front and hung the antenna out here, it would be totally fine. Because then when I went above myself, the antenna would be here and it would be beaming straight. But if you're going to have the antenna next to the PCB, understand that the PCB has a big sheet of copper in it, and that copper will block the RF coming off this, and you'll be relying only on bounces. Right? At the top of that radio tower, there was nothing for the signal to bounce off. So I had no video. Food for thought, friends. So yeah, so these RC drift chasing rigs have to be built in the Cockroach 65 V3 frame because it has these little hooks on the frame, and I use those hooks for the camera mount. Other than that, these are just standard Module 6 ELRS builds. 2G4 AIO, 0702. I have different motors on different ones. This one is the throttle resolution king on 28,500 kV motors. I have another one on 36,000 kV motors, which I can kind of throw it around a little bit more. And so, yeah, different rigs for different kind of flight styles for different purposes, right? Tons of throttle resolution on this one. This is the one that I fly really low all the time and try to just stay on the RC Drift Car's doors. If I want to do some more like crazy wild shit and try to like throw up over the car, get inverted, do weird power loops and shit, I do it with this one with the 36,000 kV motors. This guy is actually going to get pulled apart. So there's two different versions of the Cockroach 65 V3 frame. This is the lighter weight version of the frame in, I want to say, polypropylene. Don't quote me on that, but it's a softer plastic. They also sell it in, yeah, I was right about that, PP. They also sell the frame in PC, polycarbonate, in a more clear, more brittle plastic. But it is a stronger plastic. And I'm going to move this one over to that frame. This is the 36,000 kV version, more power. I'm going to try it on the more rigid frame. Unfortunately, this frame is a little bit heavier, which I don't love, but I'm wondering if with this frame I can crank the PID tune up a little bit more. And so, yeah, I'm going to try it, and we'll see what happens. I am going to take this, though. I'm going to swap. I'm actually going to combine a couple different things. This is currently on the Mobula 6 2024 V2 AIO. And this has a little bit of jello in the mid. You know what? I haven't confirmed that on this build. I'm going to fly this build a little bit to see if the jello is there with all of these changes that I've made, right? Different camera mount, different frame. I haven't noticed. Yeah, I gotta fly this and see if it still has that jello problem. I bet you it does. I think the jello problem is related to them removing some capacitance. I think one of the ways that they shrunk the AIO down on the Mobula 6 2024 versus the old 2G4 is to remove some of the capacitance. Happy Model has done that in the past with the Diamond. It's why the Diamond AIO is worthless, because they removed so much capacitance that the electrical system is too noisy for you to get a half decent pit tune. I had dropped another AIO that I just had sitting here into this one to do some camera testing, but this point is just an extra Cockroach V3 frame with an extra little Batwing mount and camera sitting on it, ready to go, with middle of the road motors, 0702 30,000 kV. So yeah, this just kind of hangs out on the desk. And then we get into the 65 millimeter walk snail builds, of which there are two. Hold on. Oh man, is that satisfying? Just having 4 TinyWhoops in a nice little case, nice and protected. God damn. Those cases are available on TinyWhoop.com. I really like them. 2 walk snail 65 millimeter rigs. This is the one that I use to chase the little RC drift cars. All of the walk snail builds are BetaFPV cross style AIOs. You can kind of see it there. It's the same AIO that all the racers run. It's just the regular old BetaFPV, no VTX inside of it. ELRS AIO, F411 AIO, and then the walk snail light system. This guy has a true RC Singularity left-hand circular polarized, which is glued down to the board because it kept popping off. Batwing mount, and then the camera up front. Again, Cockroach 65 V3 frame because I need the hooks for the Batwing mount. And then this guy has WeBleed FPV 07. Both of these guys have WeBleed 0702 40,000 kV motors. Walk snail adds a lot of weight, and so these 0702s are the most powerful 0702s, so it really these motors really wake these rigs up, and the runtime is not that bad. The freestyle version has the Mobula 6 canopy, slightly modified. You got to file the opening a little bit for the light camera, but that's it. These 2 rigs are really identical, other than the canopy setup versus the Batwing, and they both have the same antennas. Very, very fun. Even though this is the freestyle build, it's not really, I don't know. You can do a bunch of freestyle-y stuff with it. I'm not totally happy with it from a freestyle standpoint, just because it's kind of heavy. But for most people, they would absolutely love this. When you start to fly this really hard, your run times drop below 2 minutes, and that is really hard on the batteries. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, this is more like an aggressive CiottiWhoop. Fly it like an aggressive CiottiWhoop. Don't go completely nuts with it from a freestyle perspective, and you're going to really like this thing. If you go completely nutty with it, and crash it constantly, I don't know if it's going to hold up all that well. It's kind of heavy. It's going to carry all that extra weight into the crashes. I think this is better off as like an aggressive CiottiWhoop. But if you want a CiottiWhoop, build this because it's got no props in view. The problem with this is a zero up tilt kind of situation here. Whereas this, you can run a bunch of up tilt on it. But if you do run a bunch of up tilt on this, you're going to be flying it really fast and you're going to destroy your batteries. And you're going to get really short run times. So, I don't know. At some point, this guy might come apart. Because I don't really find myself flying this hardly ever. But I'm leaving it together for right now to see if I can find a good use for it. When you run it low camera angle, there's a little bit of duct in view. So like, what's the point? I'd rather have a zero camera angle kind of setup. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to pull this apart and put it into and build another one of these. Because I use this a good amount. And this is fun to fly outside and shit. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm flying this here and there to try to find a good home for it. That's all the 65mm rigs. 75mm rigs are kind of in flux. They're moving around a bunch, but we can talk about the current state of their being. Now we'll start 1S, of course. From the lightest weight 1S, this is an old school Mobula 6 converted into a Jungle Gym Basher. Old school Mobula 6, you buy, which has the 2G4 AIO, you buy a Mobula 7 V4 frame, it drops right in, and you swap the motors over. The easiest motor swap is the TinyWhoop iGao Special Edition 0802 27,000 kV, which has a 1.5mm motor shaft. Those are the motors that are on this frame right here, and they just work. The 1.5mm motor shaft is strong. You can bounce this off of a jungle gym all day long. Great power, great for flying outside. Little heavy for inside, but it's doable. At the moment, I have it on VCI 0703 23,500 kV motors, and they're pretty damn good. They're a little bit lighter than those 0802 motors. They don't make quite as much power, but almost. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed by them. They only have 1mm motor shafts, so at the moment, I'm basically just seeing how durable VCI 1mm motor shafts are, so that's why I'm running them right now. Once I've figured that out, basically once I've bent one or two of these motors up, I will pull these off and I will put this back into the frame that's got the 0802 27,000s on it. But yeah, that's where this guy is. And that's what you can do with an old school Mobula 6 is convert it to this if you want to fly it outside more than inside. This is the actual Mobula 7 1S ELRS. X12 AIO, same canopy and camera, and then this one has a motor swap. The motors that the Mobula 7 1S ELRS comes with suck. The bells are good, so hold on to those motors. Don't throw them away. The bells you can swap onto higher KV Happy Model 0802 stators. So definitely hold on to those motors. But the stators that those motors come with are only 20,000 kV, which is way too low. You want to be at least like 25,000, if not 27. Yeah, so that's what this is. These are VCI 0802.8 27,000 kV motors, and they absolutely rip. These are the most powerful 1S TinyWhoop motors that we've got right now. Unfortunately, they're on 1mm motor shafts, so you get all this power, but probably they'll break. I'll let you know. I haven't really hammered either one of these super hard yet. I've just been flying them to get the flight feel. They are going to get just tortured at this point, though. This is a Mobula 7 frame on prototype motors. No need to talk about that. This is a... Well, now we get into the walk snail rigs. We'll talk about this in a second. So the walk snail build is exactly the same as what we just looked at. BetaFPV Cross AIO with the walk snail light setup. Mobula 6 canopy, light camera. At the moment, this is in a... so since it's a BetaFPV Cross style AIO, you can use the Meteor 75 Air frame, which I really like. It's a little bit lighter than the Mobula 7 frame. And now I have at the moment BetaFPV 1102 22,000s on here. I'm not in love with this motor. I think I like these RC and Power 1002 22,000s a little bit better, but the 1002s don't make quite as much power, but the 1002s are better balanced, so you can run a tighter PID tune, and you get less jello in your flight footage. These 1102s are notoriously not all that well balanced. They're also, in my experience, kind of fragile. But yeah, it's a toss-up between these two motors. The other motor option is actually these VCI 0802.8s. They'll give you the lightest weight and the most power, and they're very well balanced. The problem with them is runtime. They're the least efficient out of these motor options. And also the 1mm motor shaft, so they're not going to be as durable. All of the 1002s and 1102s have 1.5mm motor shafts. So yeah, that's where the 1S Walksnail build is. I'm in between all these different motors. I don't love the way that it performs with any of these motors, but you would probably be okay with it. I'm a snob when it comes to flight performance, so yeah, most people would love this build on any three of these motors. And then there's the 2S version, which absolutely blew me away. Still testing the different frames that are available, still testing different motors that are available. Walksnail Lite. This AIO is very hard to find at the moment. It is a BetaFPV 2S, 1S to 2S AIO, no VTX on board, ELRS, with instead of having a big long USB port to plug into, it's got a silly little JST port on the board that they then give you a little adapter to plug into, which is then USB-C, which works really well. The point is that when you go to a 2S setup, your batteries become a lot taller, and some of the 2S frames tuck the battery up so close to the board that the USB will hit the battery, and you can't have that. So yeah, for my 2S setup, I've chosen this wacky kind of AIO, although it is hard to find 2S AIOs with ELRS on board that are also lightweight. So I think this might be the best AIO choice. BT 3.0, I'm doing some motor testing right now. My favorite motors out of 3 that I've run so far, which is not a very big sample size, are the T-Motor 1002 18,000s. This currently has old school Happy Model 802 19,000s, which are really good, not quite as good as the T-Motors. And these are a 1mm shaft. The T-Motors are 1.5mm shaft. So yeah, the T-Motors ripped. I love them. I've also tried the Flywoo 1002 23,500s. You have to really motor limit those awful far down to bring the KV under control, bring the RPM under control. So yeah, there you go. That's the 2S setup. Really, really good. The reason why it's not flying right now is my fault, 100%. So yeah, when it was flying, it was remarkably durable. Oh, the batteries are important on that setup. TinyWhoop.com has 300 mAh 2S BT 3.0 batteries. Hands down, those are the batteries that you want to run. Every other battery is way heavier, and those batteries have been fantastic on that setup. That's the fleet, my friends. There's also a tiny lifter up here, but we've talked about that a ton. Yeah, that's it. That's the fleet. Every rig has a specific purpose. Some of them are kind of just like testing rigs, but eventually they turn from testing rigs sometimes into like, I've fallen in love with this combination of parts. This is my heavy, powerful version of an indoor or an outdoor rig. I like to try to have like two of everything, because yeah, if you only have one of something and it breaks, you're screwed. So what that's turned into a lot of the times is like, I'll have 2 freestyle rigs. One of them is a little bit heavier, a little bit more powerful. One of them is a little bit lighter, a little bit less powerful, right? That's a really nice way of having 2 rigs that are not drastically different, but they're just different enough to where you can keep learning and keep kind of figuring out which which style you like better, heavier, more powerful, lighter, less bright. But at the same time, you can get better and better and better. There you go, friends. Minos133 says, will the Ultimate TinyWhoop page still be updated? It will. Yeah, Joshua actually asked me a little over a week ago to update it, and I just haven't found the time yet, but I will. Two Stick Studio says, thoughts on Air 65 racing version for my first TinyWhoop. Get it. It's great. Don't upgrade it. Don't tune it. Leave it the hell alone. Buy it and fly the shit out of it. When it breaks, fix it. The Air 65 is perfect for leaving alone. It's not the rig to upgrade. If you want a new, currently available TinyWhoop that you're going to upgrade, that's the Mobula 6 2024. The Air 65 is 95% perfect the way it is, so just leave it alone. The Mobula 6 2024 is 80% perfect the way it is. You can get it to 98% perfect with some upgrades, some simple upgrades. But yeah, the Air 65 Racing is awesome. You'll love it. Earthwalker says, when I replace direct soldered motors, I often just snip the wire in the middle rather than deal with the pads. Probably not ideal, but works for the lazy. Yeah, that'll totally work. And it's not even that bad to do it that way. It's a little bit bad. But yeah, not even that bad to do it that way. Corsair FPV says, I've updated my Meteor 65 Pro original motors, which were 802 19,500s, to WeBleed 702 Gore 28,500s. Do you recommend me to use Gemfan 31mm biblades instead of 35mm tris? I do, but those 31mm props are going to be kind of silly inside of that bigger, heavier frame. So really what you want to do, Corsair, is replace the frame as well. If you're going to be taking motors off, you might as well replace the frame, right? It's $3 or $4 whole. So snag yourself a Newbie Drone Light AF frame. Also get a V3, Cockroach 65 V3 frame. And it depends. If you want it to just be durable and probably never break, put it directly into the V3 frame and swap it over to either while you're at it, buy the 3 really good propellers. Look, spend $20 whole and get all of the good shit. Go to Newbie Drone and get the Light AF frame in the clear color. Definitely don't buy it in black. Get it in either the clear or the white. I think you should get it in the clear. Get the Gemfan 1210 biblades, the Gemfan 1219S tri-blades, and the HQ Ultralight tri-blades. Now you've got the best frames and all the best props, and do that swap, and your brain will melt out of your asshole at how much better that thing flies with that setup than it did out of the box. Yeah. You're still going to be a little bit heavy because you're going to have that heavier Meteor 65 canopy and external VTX kind of pain in the ass thing, but you're going to save a bunch of weight, and yeah, you'll be blown away at how much better that thing flies. You'll hardly believe it. Walter says, you cannot walk on one leg. You can hop, though. Just Mo says, what do you think of the WeBleed 40,000 kV on a 75mm hdZero rig? That would last probably about 10 seconds before those motors melted. 75mm 0702 motors have no place on 75mm rigs. They are 65mm motor to motor only, 1.2 inch prop only. For a 75mm rig, you need to be on an 802 or bigger. For a 75mm hdZero rig, you need to be on an 803 or a 1002. 802s are not really big enough for the extra weight of a digital video system. So yeah, 75mm hdZero rig, you are into the world that I'm in with this, where I can't find a set of motors that I love. But the BetaFPV 1102 22,000s are pretty good. The RC and Power 1002 22,000s are pretty good. The 0803 VCI 27,000s are pretty good. But yeah, 702s on a 75mm rig are awful. Brandon McBean says, I'm a little out of the loop. I've been busy being lame with an Avata 2. But about the 65 Air versus Mobula 6 2024, is the difference between the two just tuning or hardware? Great question, Brandon. It's hardware. The Air 65 has an internal VTX and an external receiver, which is just kind of silly. That's just kind of a silly way of doing it. But then, and then the camera that it comes with is just kind of okay. The motors are direct soldered. So to replace the motors is a total pain in the ass. And it comes with the race version comes with 29,000 kV motors that are actually like 29,000 kV. So you just don't need to upgrade it. Like the Air 65 race out of the box is really, really good. The frame is really light. The external receiver setup is a little bit weird, but whatever. It's done for you. It's there. They use a specific plug, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. It's there. It's done. It's good to go. The camera is okay. The canopy is okay. The whole thing is like a really decent package. The Mobula 6 2024 is almost as good. It's not quite as good because the 28,000 kV motors are overrated. They're actually only like 25 or 26,000 kV. So it's a little bit underpowered with the motors, but the motors are on plugs. So you spend that extra $40 and you get 40,000 kV motors, which are actually like 36,000 kV, 36,000 kV motors, which are actually like 32,000 kV, or 32,000 kV motors that are actually like the same as the BetaFPV 29,000s. And then you can also go to the old school Mobula 6 canopy and the Runcam Nano 3 camera, which makes it even lighter. Like you can make the Mobula 6 2024 lighter than the... Yeah, you can make it a little bit lighter than the Air 65 if you're willing to do a bunch of upgrades to it. But yeah, man, the Air 65 race is damn good right out of the box. And so that's where that line of thinking kind of comes from. It is 5:17, my friends, and I have not flown. Go figure. Let's fly a few. Let's fly a few Bratteries. Pull this memory card and throw them in here. All right. We're going to do the big dumb and fly 75mm rigs in the house. But I'm going to do it with these really lightweight little Emax 300 mAh fatty fat batteries that I've moved over to BT 2.0. First up, we're going to fly the VCI 703 rig. This is one of the ways that I'm going to put a bunch of crashes into these VCI motors, to see which ones hold up and which ones catch on fire and burn the house down. Ready? Go. It'll be fine. Here we go. Or not. Why are you not showing me video? hdZero goggles. Come on now, little fellas. Live. Live, hdZero goggles. They live. All right. Here we go, friends. This is basically just a Jungle Gym basher with these VCI 0703 motors. 23,500 kV. Let me make sure the throttle expo is set right. So on the right side of the screen there, 38, 39, 40, 30... 36, 37, 35, 34. That's my throttle position. To set your throttle expo midpoint properly, cruise around the room at your normal cruising speed and just get an idea of what the average is for that throttle number. 36, 37, 39, 40, 36. So the average is basically like 38. Come into your menu, miscellaneous PP, go up to go to the bottom. Nope, that's not the right thing. It's in rate. Yeah. And the throttle midpoint is at 38, so it's already set perfectly. And there you go. That is how you keep your throttle expo midpoint where it should be. You're going to have to do that when you change motors, when you change props, when you change flying locations. If you fly outside, you're going to fly faster. Your cruising throttle point is going to be much higher. There he is. There's the little dog that is heartbroken that Ball is gone. But it's his own fault. If he could have kept it under control with Ball, we would have let him have it. But he just can't, man. He can't. What's JoJo's Masterful Adventure. Let's just absolutely terrorize Azalea. She kicking it. I'm trying to. Oh man, look at all this up tilt. I'm trying to put it right in front of her face. All right. Yeah, these 703s are really good. I'm really impressed by these. Let's do dumb shit though and crash the shit out of them. Well, I thought for sure I would crash on that. Oh, that was a cool little wall ride to throw. Oh, uh-oh. Where am I? Hey. Ooh, this battery's dunzo. So you can see the runtime on these fat boy little 300 mAh batteries is not nearly as much as the 450s, but it's lighter with these batteries. And they these are actually an old GNB battery that Quad 66 turned me on to, that Emax has them like white label for him or whatever. And it's Quad 66 said this is one of his favorite batteries of all time, and then GNB stopped making it and he was like, yeah, upset. But yeah, they have great, nice low internal resistance, and they just perform awesome. The problem with them is when you buy them from Emax, they have GNB 27 leads on them. So you got to cut those leads off and solder on BT 2.0, which really blows. It's doable, but super annoying. All right, another fresh 300. Ooh, rejection. Oh, come on now. Stop it! Let me fly, house. Oh, God. What's happening? Why are 75mm rigs so hard to fly in the house? There we go. Excuse the mess. I'm trying to organize a bunch of stuff. It is a fucking pigsty around here. Anybody interested in a beautiful set of JBL Studio 580s? Let me know. Cleanest set of JBL 580s you'll ever see. Oh! Donk! Alright, let's get upstairs where we can really hammer this thing. Wow, this battery's getting effed already. Oh! Oh! Yeah, upstairs is where the hard crashes happen, bro. Oh! Almost got her on that one. Ah! Nah. Nah. JoJo's Magnificent Bing Bong. Fling Flong. Sing along! Okay, that's not a water bowl, is it? Nope. Good, 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 good. Alright, this battery's donezo. Oh shit. I'm also, for the record, flying these pretty hard. But 75mm rigs for flying outside, right? You're gonna fly hard outside, so. Okay, there's two 300 mAh batteries. We're gonna swap over to a 450, and you'll see the difference in runtime for sure. You might also see a difference in weight. The smaller MAH batteries, it's like having a smaller gas tank in a way. It's just, they will sag more. Drones says, how often do you play the drums? Every couple of days. I've been really trying to get a little bit back into it, get my chops back into a choppy place. It's awful loud though. I try not to do it when like Maggie's in her office working, because like her office is pretty much right above, not quite, like right above the drum set is the kitchen, but then like right next to the kitchen is Maggie's office, and like she's doing important shit in there, you know. And so like I try to wait until she's not in there, but yeah, it's very fun. I started playing at like 9 years old, and I played all through college, and I was really, really good. I wasn't like the best, like there was always a couple of people better than me, but I was pretty damn good. And I had a real blast doing it. Actually, no, we're going to run one more 300, because this is the rig to run the 300 mAh batteries on. I'm not going to put these 300s through the 0802.8 rig. It'll just sag the batteries back to the 1800s. All right, one more. One more. You stank ass hose. You all better have done your 6 batteries today. Whoa. That came out of nowhere. Oh, I could have smacked her right in the face, but I chose not to. I could just see her start to smile more and more as it gets more reckless. Oh, God! I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, so now there's a dangly battery. You can see it. Oh, we got a dingleberry. We got a dingleberry. Let's try to safely get it down the stairs. Dingleberry confirmed. These batteries need like a little bit of shimming to fit in the battery tray perfectly. Just so you know. Alright, we good. We aight. I'll fly it down here for the rest of the 300 mAh battery. Crash prevention saved me twice there. Ugh. Couldn't quite get it sorted before the dive tunnel. Ugh. Crash recovery working overtime today. Whoops. Shit! Oh, God! That's back behind. Fuck you! That's in a really annoying spot to get to. God damn you. Why? There it is. Okay. Okay. Away we go! Oh! Oh! All right, there's the 300s. The runtime has never been great on them, but they perform awesome. And if you're gonna fly a 75mm rig in the house, you should probably have a few, because they are great for that. Arguably, that's kind of their only use. Same rig, 450 mAh battery. Watch the runtime change, and you might see like higher RPM numbers in the RPM reporting, because the battery just, yeah, it just has more. It's got more to give. And now, since it's the bigger battery, I'm going to push it harder. See, the tune is kind of falling apart a little bit there. Let's see if we can get a little more degain into it to fix that. Simplified tuning. Wow, we already have a lot. Jesus. Hell. But there's a little bit more. Oh, shit! Oh, that hit like a ton of bricks. In theory, it's fine, though. At this point, I just want to annoy Azalea. Oh, shit! That's going to be up on top. Oh, no, it's on top. Oh, no, it's on top and in the plant. I don't know if I can reach it. I'm going to have to get the goddamn ladder. Fuck. No. No. I don't know if I can reach that. I figure if I fall and die while live streaming, you know, it'll probably get some views, and then the family can, yeah, maybe live off some of that revenue. Oh, I'm gonna get you, buddy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna nibble at those paws. I want to get it back onto the hardwood. Yeah, I knew he would do it. I knew it. I knew if I chased him, he would chase me back. Chase him. He can chase us. Oh, it doesn't back up as good as it... Oh, farts. Hey. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, Teddy! Oh, he's scared of it. Oh, I hope that didn't ruin it all. I think I almost hit him with it. Wow, it went through the... It took a hit to go through there, but it did go through. Let's see if he's full-blown scared. No, he's okay. He's good. He's fine. See him in there? What's he doing? Will he come to it? I realized today you can drive it around like an RC car. Will he come see it? No. I might have scared him. I hope not. Okay, big 450 mAh battery, lots of screwing around, so the runtime is going to be all screwed up. But oh, wait, what was that? Hold on. Oh yeah, okay, so that's the move for up there. I've been trying to find a move to use this, so I've got this like diagonal channel, right? Like, for fuck's sake. I've got this like diagonal channel of house where I can't do a power loop. I can't go up here and do a power loop because I'll hit the ceiling. See how the ceiling drops down here? And I've never been really... The only thing I've been able to figure out to do so far is this move. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, I've lost video. That's not great. Oh, I'm in the kids' bathroom. Oh, God. Okay. The only move I've figured out really how to do is like this thing, right? Which you see me do a million times. But now I got it. It's pitch forward, and then you stall it out. So you run it up here, you pitch it forward, and you catch it. You catch it kind of there. This battery's starting to like sag. But yeah, diagonal up, catch it, and then you run it down backwards. I like that a lot. I just got to make sure I clear that railing, which I'm not doing a great job with right now. So, throw it up. And then, yeah, I got to try to clear the railing, but then I got to also try not to hit the roof. Oh, God. Oh, how many times am I going to crash this fucking thing unrecoverable? Oh! He's not afraid of it. He's invincible! Why does this stream look so bad? What the hell? Has it been like this the whole time? Oh my God. Woo! Is maybe the antenna unplugged or something? No? Antenna's fine. Shit, has it been like that the whole time? That was really bad at the top of the stairs. Let me make sure that the... Yeah, no, it's still plugged in. For just being at the top of the stairs, that looked awful. Huh. There you go. That runtime is a little bit overinflated because of all the Teddy playtime. Just when I was on the ground. Okay, cool. Alright, good. Last thing I'm going to do is an ultra lightweight 65mm battery. Just so that you guys can have a little bit of perspective. This is a Mobula 6 2024 with a couple of mods thrown at it. Simple stuff. Nothing nuts. And I'm going to run a little 260 mAh battery to really exemplify the difference between heavy and light. Oh, this battery ain't charged. What the hell? Wow, it's... oh, it's so different. Jesus Christ. It is so different. Still loads of power. You might be able to tell there's less momentum. Ooh! Almost caught it. Ooh, God, I got a little close on that one. Where'd he go? I can usually hear him clicking around. He run back to mommy? No, where the hell is he? Oh, God. Oh, there he is. He was going to Azalea. Funny little fella. So yeah, much more acceleration, much quicker acceleration, much more accurate, less momentum, but still plenty of momentum for throws around the house. It's just like if you're gonna fly something like this outside, it might legitimately not have enough momentum for you. Let me in there. Son of a bitch, let me go through! What? I will burn this battery to the ground if that's what it takes. How dare you? Okay. 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 I'm in a box. You motherfucker, you. Well, I probably just ruined that battery over discharging it, but whatever. At least I tried to force it. That's what. There you go, friends. Fleet review, some flying. Got all technical for a little while there. What you know about that? Man, I will say, moving back and forth between flying 75 and 65 is very difficult. They are very different animals. For inside the house, 65 is king, unquestionably. But for outside, there's you can make an argument for either. If I could only have one, it would for sure be a 65 rig on like 36,000 or 40,000 kV motors because they rip outside. So yeah, if there can only be one, it should be a 65, I think, because it is so much better inside, and then it still works outside. 75 is a little bit better outside and kind of works inside, but like flying it inside, you're gonna destroy everything you own. So don't do that. The people that you live with will not be happy about that. So yeah. 65 for life. Not really. These TinyWhoops are cheap enough that it's, you know, $300 will get you a fully upgraded 65, a fully upgraded 75. And then you've got the mother of all jungle gym bashers and the ultimate, your version of the ultimate freestyle TinyWhoop. Thanks for hanging, friends. CiottiFPV.com to support me. It does mean a lot, and it is the only way I can continue to do this full time. I love you. Goodbye. I'm not ready. Let's here's some of the HGLRC drift car chasing shit that I spent another 4 or 5 hours on the edit. It's coming along after the stream the other day. Be good, friends. See you tomorrow night at 10.